Tom here. It's a Monday morning. Definitely on the prowl here, looking for another deal. I've been bird dogging here the last couple days. Got something kind of interesting. I'm expecting an email when I get to my office. Again, this is a big property. I'm also going to drive by another one here in a minute and just take a look. It's one I've been watching for a while. Like I say, it's real important to be persistent. Talk to people, even if they don't want to sell. Just touch base every month or so and say, hey, feeling any different? You want to sell now or whatever? And because you'd be surprised. In fact, that reminds me, I had a lady. Actually, I had a man. I was trying to buy his 40 acres. This is a long time ago, and he says no. He was I think he was a Japanese guy. It was a Japanese name, and he was very. We communicated, but it was a little bit rough. A long time ago, California property, and but I would call him. I'd call him every month. Say, hey, how's it going? I want to say it was Hiroshito or something, some name, something like that. Well, I called him and I said, hey, you still got my letter? And because I'd send him a letter and say, hey, please hang on to my number. And he told me no. He said he didn't want to sell, but he had the letter. And I called him one month, and I called him another month, and then about a week after the last time I called him, I get a phone call, and it's his wife. And I go, hey, what's up? I said, yeah, just talk to your husband. And she says, yeah, he died. And she's broken English. And she said, but I want to sell right now. And she gave me a price. And I actually, it was when I kind of flipped right away. And I didn't make, I made probably made $32,000. But it was good. It was really, it was almost, I made about the same margin a realtor would have made. But basically, it wasn't something I really wanted to hold, but so we made a deal, and I flipped it for like just 10% more, but I think it was about a $300,000 purchase. And my recollection is I made $32,000. So that's about what an agent would have made. If an agent sold it for $32,000, they'd have taken $30,000, about a 10% commission. So I did just slightly better than a 10% margin on that. But man, it was easy. And again, it was just extra money, and it was really just the time I spent just making a couple of calls here and there. So so I tell you what, I got a little bit of money burning a hole in my pocket, and I want to get it invested. I'd actually like to leverage into as big a piece of property as I can. Ideally I could buy something for about $1 million, but I'll tell you, if something was really good, I actually have a big center. It might almost be $5 million. If I could make that happen, it'd be tough it'd be tough for me to raise $1 million right now, but I could do it. But right now, on hand, I got 300, but I got lines of credit I can pull from, and I could always create another one if I needed to. For the right deal, I would. And that's kind of how I operate now. I was telling people before, a lot of times it's difficult to, the life is you're buying, so you buy, and then you buy something, and it's a great deal, and maybe it's something that's going to cash flow for a while, or either way, your money's tied up, but now you're broke. So sometimes you can get more deals than you can afford to buy, and then in that situation, you have to roll it over to somebody else, or you have to take a partner. That's why a lot of times, for the bigger deals that I kind of like, and I'm driving by one that I'm hoping is going to be one of my deals. That number again. Anyways, what I was going to say is, then I kind of have to. I don't like to sell and be under the pressure of, gee, now I got this chunk of money, especially if I'm doing a 1031 exchange, where I'm deferring taxes and it's held by an accommodator. If you don't know about that, you will someday. But anyways, so what I had to do, what I have to do is I'm in a rush to find a property to identify within a few months, and then close within 6 months. So that can be not a fun pressure, and sometimes it makes me buy property that is a good deal, but maybe not as good a deal as I hoped. Or even one time, I had one that I was under the pressure of an accommodator. And I couldn't find a good enough deal, and so I said, heck with it. Had the accommodator give me the money, and I just took my lumps and paid my taxes on it rather than defer it. and which is, sometimes that's part of it. Sometimes it's better to go ahead and take your lumps, pay the taxes on a big gain, and just have that cash waiting there on hand, and then you can more than make up for what you paid out in taxes, which ultimately you're going to pay anyways. So that's it. Just want to give you a quick shout out, and hopefully you guys are looking for property. I am, and right now, maybe keep each other motivated. So keep your comments coming in and questions, and comb your neighborhood. All I'm doing right now, combing the area between my home and my office, and really that's really where I want my real estate to be, because I can drive by it. When I do buy it, when I own it, I'll be driving by it. So hey, one more quick thing. People talk about a cap rate. A lot of times you get somebody say, oh, hey, it's got a great cap rate. It's 7% or 10% cap rate. Always ask them, what is the vacancy factor? What's the vacancy factor you're figuring in with that cap rate? And a lot of times they'll go, oh, well, I'm not figuring any vacancy rate. Listen, vacancy rate is a very real cost of holding property. So when somebody says it's got a cap rate at 10, if they're talking about it's a cap rate at 10 at 100% interest, say that's a zero. That's a zero, because I got to figure in a 10% vacancy, and then I'll figure in a 10% cap rate. So in other words, at 100% occupancy, it better be 20%. For me, it's got to be at least 30%. But at a minimum, you want it to be 20% if they're figuring a cap rate at 100% occupancy. So anyways, just want to leave you with that. Flip anything, and just a quick little roadside chat. Thanks.